here comes the player who's put in more minutes at the table than any other this week. It's China's world number 5, KUAI Man. Second of the women's singles semi-final, so China guaranteed a representative in tomorrow's final to take on Zhu Yuling. Will it be KUAI Man? Or will it be CHEN Yi? Best of 7. All these matches are best of 7 after the quarter-final stage. Well, these two have only met once before at a WTT event. The overall record sits in favour of KUAI Man. 5-3 in her favour. These two are former junior rivals, now meeting on the senior stage for a place in the final at the very first smash to be held in the Americas. World number 5 against world number 17.
The umpires for this match are Roman Kleber from Czechia and Lee Rajab from the USA.
Red or blue? Red for you. Blue. Blue. Service. Which side?
KUAI Man winning the toss, opting to serve first. She has put in, Adam Bobrow, a phenomenal amount of time at the table, and she'll also be playing later in the women's doubles final. Played last night in the mixed doubles final, was victorious alongside Lin Shidong. But is that time at the table going to show for her? I know she's, of course, a young player, still just 21 years of age, but that's a lot of table tennis.
Yeah, I consider that an advantage. For her, again, a lot of players are settling into the different conditions here, the high altitude, the fast table. I do feel that she'll have settled in a way that will allow her a sense of control and freedom. But CHEN Yi, let's talk about her eliminating Sun Yingxia. Few have been able to do. Chen Xingtong a standout. Even within the Chinese national team, if you're not Wang Manyu, it's pretty rare. Sofia Polkanova taking her to a 5th, Orwan Paranong to a 5th. Sun Yingxia, the better victory. That's the only one that hasn't come down to a decider. In the comeback against Hina Hayata, she was down 0-3. It looked like it was going to be quick pickings, but it was 4 games in a row for CHEN Yi. She's fast, she's dangerous, she's adaptable, she's unpredictable, and for a player her height, the tallest player on the Chinese team, she stays really close to the table.
Let's have a word then about KUAI Man. Made headlines earlier this season, upstaging the former world champion Wang Manyu, former world number 1 Zhu Yuling, who's into the final, and Chinese superstar Chen Xingtong on her way to finishing runner-up at the Singapore Smash in February. And we can have a look then at her results. This is how KUAI Man has found herself in this semi-final. That was impressive, that straight games victory over her teammate Chen Xingtong yesterday. Just dropped the 1 game all week en route through to this semi-final. It was Adriana Diaz who's been the only player able to take a game off KUAI Man. What do you put that consistency down to?
Well, KUAI Man is so well practiced. I think she's incredibly focused. I don't know, every individual, you know, I think we forget that the Chinese national team, whether they have 23, 26 players on their A team at any given point in time, competing for $100,000 if they become champion of this event, are all different individuals with different mental capabilities, abilities to focus, and differences in technique, despite being brought up through a very similar system. If you're brought up in Harbin, you're not going to have the same coach as if you're brought up in Jinan or Qingdao. These are different coaches that feed into the system. But at this level, they play for the same national team, and KUAI Man will start off the best of 7 with the serves.
That's a decent serve as well to get the first point on the board.
Yeah, 2 young players. You can expect slightly more long serves than usual in the fearless fast play.
Love 2.
It was a remarkable result for CHEN Yi yesterday, coming from 3 games down against Hina Hayata in the best of 7. It shows that she's not going to be afraid to go to 7 if it comes to that with KUAI Man.
1-2.
It also shows you that she knows how to handle pressure. There's a lack of panic. There's a cool and a calm during the storm. Not before, but during the storm.
Wow, she's just so strong isn't she, KUAI Man?
I mentioned unpredictable when I was talking about CHEN Yi, but I feel like KUAI Man and her wrist, when she steps around, it's so tough to tell where she's going to go.
Is the left hand a factor in that?
Well, it's definitely an advantage. In adversarial racket sports, the left hand basically means you have the opposite setup. You have a forehand where there would otherwise be a backhand and vice versa. Just much less experience against lefties.
2-4.
So a right-handed player, you can find a right-handed practice partner anywhere. A left-handed practice partner, a little bit slimmer pickings. 2/3 of the fan vote behind KUAI Man. The remaining third with CHEN Yi, the player who knocked out the most undefeated player in the modern game. 3 years world #1, Sun Sha. Now, a lot of players have trouble beating CHEN Yi on the wings. In the women's game, we see a lot more backhand to backhand because it's the fastest, most efficient stroke, and women play for speed, closer to the table.
We don't see too many long rallies like that either, do we?
No, this one was quite extended. CHEN Yi here going corner to corner, then finally finding the middle. Strikes twice into that middle, getting KUAI Man just to lean onto that right foot. But this one's drilled. Topspin comes in a closed racket. KUAI Man not afraid to take a chance. Look how low this ball is. Net height, spinny as can be. Uses the length of the table to her advantage.
What is going to prove the difference here today? Because both of these players have such strong all-around games.
It's a good question. I think, as you mentioned before, KUAI Man's experience on the table will give her a bit of advantage, the 5th seed. She's also had more experience internationally. I'm still waiting to hear. I know in the tail of the table it showed the exact same record for both, but that'd be an amazing coincidence. And the risk-taking ability here, CHEN Yi stepping around that backhand corner. As a taller player, she's going to tend to favor the backhand when the ball's played at the elbow, but just a little bit of height on this. She really does go in for the journey, the big step around forehand shot. Now, I know in their WTT head-to-head, KUAI Man is 1-0, but internationally 5-3, much closer.
8-5.
Well, their very first clash came at under 15 level in the China Junior and Cadet Open. Any guesses as to who won that one?
CHEN Yi.
I actually don't know. I know that the head-to-head is in favor of KUAI Man outside of WTT.
6-8.
I don't have the info on who won the very first meeting.
What I have on their WTT head-to-head is in 2018, the junior circuit, ITTF junior circuit, Golden China Junior and Cadet Open was CHEN Yi 4-3. KUAI Man would win the next two. But in all fairness, they've only played one match since 2019 internationally. That was in Muscat, Oman. WTT contender, and KUAI Man won that 3-1. So in recent history, the WTT era, KUAI Man in control. Same here. An extra spin on this one. Heavy push sets up 4 game points. Shovel serve. A lot of conversations for later on when Tomokazu plays about the shovel serve.
11-6.
Great pressure from KUAI Man, who raises a hand by way of apology, acknowledging the little bit of fortune she had as she takes that final point of the game. First blood going to KUAI Man, wrapping that one up 11 points to 6. Well, we can have a little look at the Roll of Honor and a look at KUAI Man's results as well. These are the champions of 2025. KUAI Man taking the Star Contender title in Doha in January. Chinese dominance throughout most of these events. Sun Sha there, the champion in Chongqing, but knocked out by CHEN Yi in March. We have one French winner among the ranks, KUAI Man, who turned 40 this week in Las Vegas.
No way, another birthday. Yuan Jianan with one of the highest tosses in the game. Was able to knock out Amy Wong of USA on home soil, who's the last, well, I guess the survivor of her and Lily Zhang, but Jessica Reyes-Lai actually making it relatively deep in the event as well. So many birthdays this week.
There are so many birthdays this week. Shin Yibin, Hina
Second
Hayata.
game, Chen to serve.
I'm sure there are more.
Love all.
Yeah, there was another one on the 4th. Honoka Hashimoto, maybe?
Perhaps.
I think so. I think the 4th of July.
Happy birthday to everybody.
Yes. If you're listening, chances are incredibly high that you have a birthday, and we want to celebrate that right now because you are watching the best show on earth. What a great way to celebrate your birthday, whether you're early or late, or it's your birthday today. Also, happy birthday to you.
Love two.
So CHEN Yi comes out now. The shovel serve, again, this is a serve that's been a little bit controversial over the years, and with TTR in effect, I feel like advantages of it have been limited. Good placement on this, deep into that elbow. CHEN Yi with the long push. Very, very effective placement anyway. Not a push so much as a slight
No
punch.
flash photography. Thank
Not
you.
a lot of rotation on it.
Love three. 3-1.
First point for KUAI Man this game. Again, in the rally, she's very quick and unpredictable.
Go wide, please.
Stolen from inside the table, the step around.
3-2.
This for me is high level. I say that because the best in the game are able to steal the ball from inside the baseline. KUAI Man out of reach for the player with the best wingspan for Team China. One of the best in the world.
Brilliant rally, and CHEN Yi at full stretch there. And again, acknowledging the stroke of luck she had to wrap up that point. But this was a great rally, wasn't it? KUAI Man attacking that wide forehand, and CHEN Yi had an answer for it this time.
CHEN Yi's so fluid. She actually reminds me a little bit of Amy Wong in her game. If Amy Wong was born and raised in China, trained through the national team. It's funny, I had a chance to chat with CHEN Yi at the World Championships a bit, but we were both sitting, and I didn't actually realize she's about my height. Seeing her out here on court, it's just so rare. Sun Ming Yang used to be the player.
6-2.
Oh, it's that inside-out forehand again. She turns the corner. And we've seen her. Okay, long serve, struck from right behind. This is how to make it fast to the backhand. But she doesn't leave early. KUAI Man puts the Kwai in KUAI Man. That means fast, by the way, in Mandarin. More or less.
3-7.
Funny enough, Man means slow. So she's so versatile, right? It's in the name.
She's got it all.
Any speed. Yep, she's a jukebox for your requests of speeds. That said, she's trailing by 4 this game. CHEN Yi's turned up the risk factor. You can feel it too, on the receive and on the serve. She's just playing a more dangerous, fearless game. Sometimes it takes a little time to test the waters, as we saw with Hina Hayata.
Well, CHEN Yi has almost got this one out of sight.
Well, we will see. We've seen some big comebacks. I was actually sitting next to Lilian Bardet earlier for the men's doubles, and apparently he was up, it was 8-2 against Liang Jingquin before Liang Jingquin won 9 points in a row. Not that many needed here.
10-3.
But on the parallel, she's played incredibly well. Change of pace, watch this. Arcing spin shot, another arcing spin shot. And the break of rhythm sets up 7 game points for CHEN Yi.
11-3.
Well, some real
Game
speed
to
from
CHEN.
CHEN Yi to get that one finished off. 11 points to 3. Finding a rhythm in game number 2, certainly. Keeping KUAI Man very quiet indeed in that one.
Quiet KUAI on the scoreboard here after an 11-6 victory in game number 1. I don't think I'd be alone in saying you could imagine it going 4-0 after game 1 to KUAI Man the way it was looking. But doubly dominant in game 2, CHEN Yi. No coaches on the benches as both players represent Team China, the most dominant team in table tennis history in game 3 after this.
Third game, KUAI to serve.
Players back at the table
Love all.
ahead of game number 3, all square at 1 apiece here. And this is the compelling thing, isn't it, about a best of 7, because the game sort of, it's got more time to develop. There's these ebbs and flows. It swings in favor of one player, back to another. More of a mental
Last
thing as
one.
well.
Yeah, this marathon is just that much more testing. When you're ahead, you can't rest on your laurels or your lead. When you're behind, you can't give up, throw in the towel, nor expect a quick escape. An overwhelming task. Still starts with one step like any other. Full stroke forehand, KUAI Man with the elbow far from the body. This is physical strength and conditioning.
One, two.
It's also getting started early. You could be from anywhere in the world, and if you get started early and someone says, nope, your elbow should not be that close to your body, they repeat it, you will learn.
2-all.
Very whip-like backhand. Again, CHEN Yi. Watch how loose this is and how wide her stance is in that. Really gets low, uses the legs to power up and twist.
3-2.
I like how quiet the sound is. John and I had a talk about the Chinese equipment, the setup. That blue sponge is very hard. The ball barely bounces off the forehand. You need so much more racket speed to carry it. For example,
2-4.
it also has more tack. It's a bit grippier than others. So it really grabs the ball. First towel break here. They come up every 6 points. Optional. KUAI Man on the side of the table that's favored whoever's been there so far this match.
Two, 5.
The idea's right. Tough times. You could see it on the face of CHEN Yi. Net for net after a
6-2.
shorter serve. Little fortune there. Paying off for KUAI Man. It's funny, the shovel serve, CHEN Yi delivers so vertically on the toss. That is not common. The shovel serve pairs nicely with a nice illegal toss.
Seven, 2. Two, 8.
Wow, that was a tricky serve. CHEN Yi just having a bit of difficulty getting a real read on that one.
Yeah, the placement just perfect. It was half long on both axes.
2-9.
Second consecutive return from Chen Yi going long. KUAI Man with a healthy lead in this one.
Yeah, her serve drifts a little bit, and KUAI Man on the receive takes advantage.
Nine, 3.
So you mentioned KUAI Man has had more time on the table than anybody here in Vegas. I will say that CHEN Yi seems to warm up. She adapts quickly. She's like machine learning out here. Data comes in and better performance comes out.
10-3.
So remarkable quarterfinal win for Chen Yi against Hina Hayata to come from losing the opening 3 games to then just rattle off the next 4.
Speaking of games, 7 game points, KUAI Man.
Gasping, didn't it?
Game to KUAI.
Gotta love it.
In delight as to what they were seeing out there.
The stoic face from the team doctor, Shi Xunyao, He Zhuojia, and some of the rest of the Chinese crew watching on as their women battle out here. That, for me, the final point in that game might have been the point of the game itself. Fast exchanges. Good coverage of the middle. Again, to cover the middle with the forehand for CHEN Yi is going to be a little bit more difficult, but she leans well. She's got the low stance. And in a game where balance plays such an important role, CHEN Yi has it, but KUAI Man dominates by the same score line that was served to her in the last game. So back and forth they go. It'll be CHEN Yi on the side that has won in the past for Game 4.
Plenty of support for Team China, from Team China.
4th game.
In the stands.
Chen to serve.
He Zhuojia in the middle,
Bravo.
Shi Xunyao on the right. He Xiao with Wang Liqin behind him. Cami and Luana Alexandrescu in the back. Local table tennis aficionados here in Vegas.
Love 1.
It's a good time to be down there. I've had the opportunity to chat with some of those folks, all enjoying themselves in different ways. Of course, the team spirit for Team China. There's a focus during the match from everyone watching.
1-all.
That stamp of the feet there was from a player who knew she had earned herself a wonderful opportunity with that opening receive. The combination is good, and everything has to be precise to get it past on the wide shots against CHEN Yi.
1-2.
What is this match going to come down to? What's going to prove to be the difference between this pair over potentially 7 games?
Well, you can't imagine there's much between them in terms of stamina. They're both going to be incredibly well prepared there. For me, it's going to be mental. But isn't everything? I mean, I'm sure you've had an experience where you're just living the dream and for some reason you're sad, and someone else from the outside would look at you and be like, are you kidding me? Look at your life. How could you possibly be sad? It's all in your head, and in this given moment, the same is true. Of course, the score is real. It represents what's happened. But as long as they're keeping score, there's still a chance. We've seen it with KUAI Man against Chun Xingtong. Down 5-10 in Game 6. Didn't stop her.
2-4.
It's amazing as well. When we look at the scoreboard overall showing a straight games win, 4 games to nothing, it doesn't tell the story of what's actually happened and how the actual game has unfolded.
Oh, in this event, I felt like that told the story fairly well. I think I was referring to the China smash. Ooh.
2-5.
A little bit of drama for the crowd here as this one just skirts across the top of the net. 2 on it. A net roller, watch this. Look at me balance, double, little rail slide there from the skating ball.
5-3.
Another thing that I think it'll come down to, in some senses, is just sort of risk assessment. Yeah, we're in Vegas. Both of these players have to gamble a bit. They have to take some chances. Because if you play afraid, it rarely works in your favor. I think in terms of no regrets, they both have to leave no regrets. Cho Yi-ke on the front, Chun Xing-tong on the right. Ju Zibing, Dr. Lee, the final boss between them. In-house doctor from OCTTA.
4-6.
A wise man once said, this is according to the USATT ratings, but every point that you miss pushing, you're closer to 1,500. Every point that you miss driving or looping, you're that much closer to 2,500. Obviously, there's a time and a place for every shot, depending on where your opponent is standing, what their strengths and weaknesses are, recent history. But this is how they adapt in this match. They really, in real time. Speaking of time, timeout here for CHEN Yi after a bit of a comeback from KUAI Man. They have to evolve. You're playing a different player in game 1 as you are in game 4, as you might be in game 7.
CHEN Yi with the first time out of the match in game number 4. She's got that 1-point lead, but clearly feeling a little uncomfortable. KUAI Man on something of a comeback.
Yeah.
And it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, of course, these players are used to it when China's playing China, not having a coach in the corner, but what kind of conversations are they having?
Well, just a little reminder there, the winner here is going to play Ju Yuling in the final, which is a fascinating story from Team Macau, China. But what side of conversations? Sorry, we're having two conversations at once. I think this will be the last one I address from our production team. But do they think of Ju Yuling as a big sister is the question. And that's a great question. I think the simple answer is yes. But it's also interesting when someone leaves the Chinese national team. I mean, you can look around. There are plenty. There's wonderful respect for Ni Xiaolian, who has been at the top of the game, absolute top of the game when she played for China, and has still been incredibly strong. At 58 years old, beat the world number 4. I mean, still contending with the best in the game. Ni Xiaolian, we hope you're healing up quickly. Your question, what would the conversation be?
Because, of course, they're not talking to a coach. It's all, you know, you talk about this being mental. Well, they're on their own in the corner there.
I think they're left with the thoughts of what their coach might have said.
7-5.
Sort of like Andy Dufresne. They let you tote that record player on down there with you, and he's like, no, it's in here. Don't you ever feel that way about music? Same with coaching. They've had years of coaching. And in a moment like this, what would my coach say? What do I need from an outside perspective? Do I have to relax a little bit? What about taking spin off the serve? These are just hypothetical examples of which there are many, many. But sometimes it's not so obvious as attack more. Sometimes it's slow down the game. Sometimes it's trust your backhand or let the opponent attack first, as crazy as that might seem. And it works here.
6-8.
It all depends on the quality of the opening attack. If you can bait your opponent into attacking from an uncomfortable position in a predictable place, the answer is there. CHEN Yi doing well on that one. So 2 out of 3 points since the timeout.
No flash photography. Thank you. 6-8.
Crowd's done a wonderful job of policing flashes. It's incredible.
(6-9).
Timeout cashed in.
Well, I'll say that when she wins the game. But so far, so good. She's on her way. 3-point lead now, 6 serving 9. (9-7). Still 2 points in front here. 2 big serves to come for CHEN Yi. there it is, short side of the table, racket high. It is not easy when you're taller. The table does not move with you. You have to stay low. And yet that short stroke with barely any follow through, using the topspin coming in to guide it back. It's 3 game points for CHEN Yi.
First game point saved by KUAI Man.
8-10.
She's so good though, isn't she, CHEN Yi, at defending that wide forehand.
Yeah, right here she was, I'd say, persuaded to play a push on a third ball. Might have been a bit forceful to try and flick that, but good touch by KUAI Man to shut down the third ball attack in that rally. And the top edge of the racket as she goes for a Chiquita opening. She's already called her timeout. Big moment here, could prove pivotal come the end of this match. She goes long on the serve. Serve long to the backhand, and CHEN Yi holds her ground. She's moving into the forehand side of the table, and she stays right where she is for the briefest of moments to prepare with the backhand. CHEN Yi with a big shot right there to level the playing field at 2 games apiece. And now the timeout has been cashed in. Rebecca, between you and me and nobody else, don't tell anybody I'm telling you this. I think in some senses, if we're trying to predict how this is going to turn out, 1, we can look at CHEN Yi versus Hina Hayata. 2, we can look at KUAI Man versus Chun Shing Tom. And that leaves us with nothing to predict, but simply having to watch till the very end, because on any given day, both of these players are capable of the most gut-wrenching, heart-stopping comebacks.
You got to take a gamble. We're in Las Vegas.
5th game, KUAI to serve, love all.
I'm going snake eyes. Seems appropriate.
Here we go then. This is game number 5. 2 games apiece. That was the tightest game we've had so far. 11 points to 9 in the last 2, CHEN Yi.
Interestingly enough, the second closest was 11-6. They've been blowouts in the rest, 11-3 back and forth.
One all.
Yeah, like you were saying, CHEN Yi happy to go the distance, happy to take this to 7. But KUAI Man, she's got the time and at the table under her belt, so she won't mind either.
It's one of those I'm not leaving until you make me leave. I can stay here forever. Let's see. Not a bad serve to set up that forehand flick, but it's one of the toughest shots in the game. It'll be very awkward depending on where the ball is placed on the table. Good spin in the middle. One thing that I can say about the pros is they set up the table so well. Not only do they play aggressive shots and then pinpoint where it's uncomfortable for the opponent, but they also are keeping in mind how to set themselves up to be in good position for the next ball. It's multitasking at its finest. There are just so many different elements to be considering in real time. Nice long push there, and KUAI Man stays on the spin game to the middle. Racket fast from the backhand. Our ninjas of the night, the ball kids.
Some KUAI Man speed there.
Yeah, it's been a little while since we've seen her turn for forehands that have ended points quite like that. In the mixed doubles, she was unstoppable, hitting that deep forehand corner. Again, it's tough to predict where she's going to go. KUAI Man. It's probably the flattest shot I've heard from KUAI Man. Sound plays such a pivotal role in table tennis. It's a big clue as to the contact and how much rotation is on it. So that's what the slap to the head was for, as if to say, you know, you need to keep more topspin on in that moment. And it's a fine balance, because if you play safely with spin and you've got a confident opponent on the other side, it's CHEN Yi who's able to take the drive, able to put on the extra pace in this rally. Leveling games, leveling points. Same shirt.
5-4.
CHEN Yi taking her time here. Both players, though, have seen yellow cards, warnings to remind players not to stall.
Oh.
5-all.
Stroke of luck for CHEN Yi. That ball just dribbling over the net, and KUAI Man with just not enough time and not enough length on her arm to try and return that one.
Be gone with ball. Adieu.
CHEN Yi might have had a better chance with that superior reach.
Yeah.
5-6.
In case you were curious out there, wondering what are the advantages of being tall? Are there more advantages to being tall than not in table tennis? And it all balances out. For every advantage, there's a disadvantage, which is why you don't see average professional table tennis players towering over other athletes.
Is it safe to say that when they do get into a rally like this, that
7-5.
generally it's KUAI who's coming out on top?
Well, score-wise, ever so slightly by points. Coming into this game, KUAI Man had scored 3 more points than her opponent from the start, and now she's got 2 more. So 5 more points total. I know that's a fairly mathematic, academic answer, but that's what I'll stick with for now. Good use of side spin. CHEN Yi coming around the outside of the ball on this to bend it, make it divert on the bounce hook. You could really see KUAI Man trying to figure out the timing. Look down at the racket to say, huh? Combination too good. It took 3 shots to get KUAI Man caught up in the middle, and the ball still came back on the table. That's how much work it is to find 1 point. A decent flick on a receive. Follow up. And then finally the finish into the middle.
Seven, 8.
Back and forth in this tug of war.
Yeah, you get the sense that this could be a nervy finish to game number 5.
All.
Man, the quiet nerves. You talked about it, but just watching her fist shake silently, CHEN Yi, you can imagine the energy. This is an opportunity like almost no other. Fan Siqi at the China Smash made it to the semifinals, but a final is world number 17 when you've got the top 5 in the world as teammates.
8-9.
KUAI Man was going for broke there, wasn't she?
Yeah, that was a bit of a gamble, the step around and the short side. CHEN Yi was there too. If the ball comes into play, it's not going to be easy, but it leaves open the whole forehand side of the table. KUAI Man with the second serve needs to do well on this one. Moves over to the forehand. A little bit more middle forehand side of the table.
No flash photography, please. 8-9.
Back to the middle once again. Repositioning on receive. CHEN Yi with a 1-point advantage.
That was absolutely amazing shot placement from the world number 9 to draw level at 9 points apiece. And these are really, really big points coming up.
Finds the corner closer to parallel here, and again testing the wingspan of the most well-winged player in the women's event left. Last two-serve combination with CHEN Yi. Wow, what a receive. Gets in right behind it, drops it short. KUAI Man. After this game, it will be 3-2. The question is who will have 3, and that is yet TBD. Game point, KUAI Man.
Oh my goodness, and it's that same spot again. That's the wide forehand of CHEN Yi. As you said, the best winged player, but she just didn't have enough reach for that one.
Well, it was the timing. KUAI Man was so quick to send her to the backhand and then redirect the other way. Not easy to do. It takes quick recovery, and KUAI Man has recovered quickly. She leads 3-2. She's one game away from a clash of generations with the generation between Zhu Yuling, the Wang Manyu Sunying Xia generation, and the KUAI Man generation. It's not over yet. CHEN Yi has been incredibly strong. We've seen her come back with no coaches out there. We've got game 6 to come. KUAI Man's forehands have been dangerous. And in case you need a refresher, enjoy some right here.
Well, it is KUAI Man who has the edge here, ever so slightly. Snuck through an incredibly close game number 5, taking that 11 points to 9. And that one went down to the wire. It could have been either player, it could have been CHEN Yi, but it was KUAI Man. We are now into game number 6, and this is a must-win for the world number 17, who gets us underway with the serves.
One love.
KUAI Man's forehand is going to recoil faster than that of CHEN Yi's in general. Oh, back edge of the table, CHEN Yi.
Love 2.
Quick apology in English. She does have better English than many of her teammates, most of them I would say, CHEN Yi. She's also incredibly humble. It's pretty cool. Speaks the truth, has a quiet confidence about her.
Love 3.
Barely any backswing again. Compact backhand and a compact forehand. It's required. Incredible point. The exchanges here, they test each other on just about every piece of the table. Not a square centimeter left untouched. 19 shots and patterns unpredictable. Change of pace, CHEN Yi. And then a little bit more shallow on the backhand, that finishing shot. Tougher to cover. Forces KUAI Man to move back into the table. And the arcing spin shot to the middle. KUAI Man fashionably late to the party in game 6. Emphasis on the fashionably. Beautiful recovery from the net. CHEN Yi brushing that ball to put a little bit of side spin on it. Watch the way she covers this with the backhand. Net, soft touch, and that fanning backhand where you hit around the outside of the ball to make it curve into the backhand of KUAI Man.
One 6.
So remember, KUAI Man still has her timeout. Wouldn't expect to see her use it this game the way things are going unless she were to take a big lead and have it suddenly turn around.
7-1.
She's just struggling a little in this one, isn't she, KUAI Man, with those 3 consecutive shots that have gone long. CHEN Yi making life really difficult at the minute for KUAI Man, and this must win for world number 17.
8-1.
Yeah, I think that's a fair observation. I also think it's interesting, CHEN Yi's serves, the tosses are like perfect just about every time. I don't think I've seen anything much off. Look at that. That's CHEN Yi's point once again. In a weird way, I almost wonder, as a taller player, she has to be careful because she could easily block vision of the ball for the receiver, which could be called quite easily in TTR.
1-10.
Wow, this is a remarkable game number 6, isn't it? Considering how close 4 and 5 were. They went down to the wire, both of them. Both of them won 11 points to 9.
11-1. Game
That
to
is
Chen.
the most one-sided, lopsided game we've had so far. And we are going the distance here in this semi-final. CHEN Yi taking us to game number 7 in imperious fashion.
What would we have asked for if not a game 7? Man, unpredictable. Again, if you watched game number 1 live, you might have thought KUAI Man is running away with this. She's got more experience. You can think of any long list of reasons why you believed it'd be over 4-0. The most dominant game we've seen at the most crucial moment, the momentum behind the player who eliminated world number 1, CHEN Yi. Hey Bex, you like mind reading?
If I'm trying to read KUAI Man's mind right now, I'm thinking,
Time.
I don't know, she's got her back facing CHEN Yi. She's, you know, not looking at the table. She's not looking at the audience. She's completely in her own zone. And she's got to be. This is critical now. It's now or never. Game number 7.
That could be sort of an MIB tactic to just erase the memory of what happened last game. Come back a clean slate.
Level.
In the decider, CHEN Yi 77% and KUAI Man 64, both shockingly high. That said, CHEN Yi 13 better than one of the highest deciding stats we've seen yet.
1 love.
Great serve though from KUAI Man to get us underway in game number 7. What was the difference in game number 6? Because that was incredibly one-sided.
Well, CHEN Yi doesn't miss much, and when she prepares, she's quick and unpredictable. The fact that she's there for this backhand, it's like she knows the pattern. I asked you about mind reading. CHEN Yi there, just quick reaction. Same. In the replay, you have to see it slowed down to appreciate that she doesn't move until the ball is contacted, at least from ready position. And this is where longer arms can help you. You get more racket speed on a long stroke when you have time to set up for it. It's the follow through though. CHEN Yi doesn't over follow through, so she's back and ready for another shot.
1-3.
She's getting cleaner and cleaner, more confident. You can see it in the strokes. Watch how free and fluid this is. 14 of the last 16 points. Not a stat you see so often. CHEN Yi heavily with the momentum now.
2-3.
Much needed by KUAI Man. All that turning around, time between games. If you come back to the table and everything's the same as it was in game 6, it's going to be trouble.
4-2.
Trying to think of the last time a world number 17 has made it to the final of a Grand Smash. Someone outside the top 15 for that matter.
Zhu Ling just sneaking in at 14.
Can you imagine
4-3.
The final between world number 14 and world number 17. No one in the top 13 seeds qualified to be there so far. 5th seed, KUAI Man, down by 1. Oh, break off the net. Part of the game.
4-all.
We've seen some good reactions and net recoveries out here. I think my favorite net recoveries so far this entire event have been that of Zhu Yuling. Good lean on that right foot to get out of the way to create space for the forehand. KUAI Man leveled, what, 3 in a row?
Four, 5.
Was it 1-4?
It was. She was 1-4 down. Got the next 3, but CHEN Yi now edges ahead again. And remember, of course, KUAI Man still has that timeout in her back pocket if she needs it.
She can't sit on it too long. If she does, they will switch sides of the table now to make sure that it's balanced. As little advantage as possible to where a player starts.
Four.
Well, it hasn't made any advantage for KUAI Man.
She's getting more vocal, CHEN Yi. I feel like this is the sprint at the end of the marathon. We've seen it. In terms of stamina, even just when you see runners that look exhausted, but they just find this reserve tank of fuel to push them across. Adrenaline. 6 serving 4.
Nicely done, KUAI Man, as CHEN Yi just inches
6-5.
wide there. That's a tricky shot she went for down the parallel.
There was a timid sort of way of play from the start of this relative to their usual points. KUAI Man slowed it down and waited for the opportunity. She's doing it again.
5-7.
She's playing slower. She's playing spinnier. I'm going to say in quotes, safely. Out here on table 1, that has been effective for many. Although if you watch the Darko Jorgic-Wang Chuqin match or Mima Ito Zhu Yuling recently, it seemed like caution never came into play. KUAI Man down 2. 2 big serves looking to level. And now there's less fear. She goes for a long serve, gets right into it. Coco Chanel, the coach. Cho Yi-ke, Sun Yingsha's personal coach, watching on from the front row.
Well,
8-6.
the first serve got KUAI Man out of trouble briefly. Couldn't do much with the second.
Yeah, that's a good long push. CHEN Yi taking a chance. Says, I'll give you the forehand, but you're going to have to step around and you're going to have to react quickly. Long push was very starring at the World Championships. CHEN Yi maintains her 2-point lead for her serve. Now we're talking 3 fearless shots back and forth. The parallels come out.
8-7.
Talked about the sprint at the end of the marathon. Short stroke to cover the middle. Nice change of placement there. KUAI Man constantly moving the feet to get that last parallel attack in. Off the net. It seemed like it clipped the top of the net on the way over. My goodness. In these moments. We'll watch it here one more time. Nope, look clean there. There we go. Hence the reaction and the lack of apology.
Crucially, she's got herself level. And she's serving.
Went 50-50 on her last 2 serves. And despite the fact that they choose these balls, much like a water fountain, the balls keep coming through the system. So after all the pounding they've taken, sometimes they need to get a new one.
No flash photography, thank you.
No, it was very calm.
8-all.
Roman Klecker reminding the crowd here that vision is super important and concentration for these players. Oh, the blast past a big forehand. She was trailing 3 points on the trot for KUAI Man. A deeper serve into the backhand side of the elbow sets her up with a 1-point lead. She has a chance to earn herself match points. Heavy push, 77%. That's 13 more than 64. That's CHEN Yi in the decider. It is not done yet. Third towel break, and we are going to have the narrowest margin after an 11-1 victory for CHEN Yi in the last. KUAI Man has definitely brought a different KUAI Man to the table for Game 7 serve success. CHEN Yi, what's that, 4.4% better? And a big forehand to the outside of the table, inside-out style, out of reach on KUAI Man's side, and it sets up match point. CHEN Yi gets a passive play from the baseline. This is what half long is all about. The gamble. 1 point away from increasing that 77% ever so slightly. CHEN Yi with some instant table tennis karma. A net recovery for a net that will devastate, that will haunt, that will keep KUAI Man awake at night. It is part of the game, but what a crazy finish. 77 becomes something more than that. CHEN Yi, the world number 17, has just moved on to battle a former world number 1, the world number 14, Zhu Yuling, in the final. A clash of generations and generations apart. This has been a shock and thrilling performance. She took out Sun Ying's shot, and after doing that, there's no doubt that you can beat anybody in the world.
Well, are we now seeing the next generation of China superstar, CHEN Yi? What a battling performance. KUAI Man agonizing for her. She had that lead of 9-8 in the last. The first time she got her nose in front in the decider. But CHEN Yi, my goodness me, nerves of steel to get that one over the line and seal her place in the final. World number 17 taking on world number 14 in tomorrow's final. My goodness, that is one to savor. What a compelling tournament this has been. CHEN Yi into the final. Zhu Yuling awaits 17 versus 14. So we can hear now from CHEN Yi